She totally failed in this story and like just really failed. She was trying to get to a place that yeah, she and what's funny is that she was jokingly frustrated with MTR for not knowing the story in the Bible. But it's apparently obvious that she doesn't know it either. So I'm going to clear it up for you guys so you guys have a better understanding of what she was referring to as far as the great WHORE of Babylon. Okay. What's going on? You're now watching Dre from Harrison Family Values. Before we go into the video, do me a favor. Hit the like button right now. It'll let YouTube know that this is a video worth sharing, helps with the algorithm. It'll put it on the pages of the feeds of people watching YouTube and who are connected to this type of content, and it'll give them a chance to watch this video. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I can add value and entertainment to your life. All right. You see the title, you see the thumbnail, going right into it. Melanie King has been trending over the past couple of days on YouTube. She is a content creator on YouTube, on Instagram, who tends to support male talking points. She has built a following on YouTube where she talks about male talking points. She argues the points of modern women, and many of the topics that she talks about, many of the talking points she addresses, I tend to agree with. Now, disclaimer. I'm not subscribed to her channel. I don't really watch her content I don't really watch her content. And it's only because I believe women should be talking more to women and men should be talking more to men. And there's some overlap there, because it's always good to get advice from the other. But I don't tend to really focus so much on women talking about men talking points. I have my own idea about that, so I won't get into that. But she's been trending on YouTube because she just recently did a live stream, a couple of live streams with the infamous Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. I don't really watch a lot of his content. I think he's an entertaining content creator, great in the space, male talking points. He curses a lot, so I don't really vibe with that, so I don't watch a lot of his content. But the boy is entertaining. The young man is entertaining. I meant talked about him before in the channel, but that's neither here nor there. So she was on the live stream and they had this red cup challenge where they play truth or dare and they would drink some alcohol. And mind you, Melanie King, I believe, was in ministry or some sort in the past. She has history in the church. She was married to a pastor, is now divorced, and that's neither here nor there. Like, that's not any of my business. So I'm not here to talk about her past. I'm just going to address what was said in the live stream, how she behaved, because I got to be perfectly honest with you. She speaks against modern women, but after a couple of drinks, seemed like she turned into one. All right. But she did say, admittedly, that she was trolling and behaving that way for the viewers of the live stream. I don't know, but she came on pretty heavy to MTR. And MTR held his masculine frame and did not budge. But in the live stream, they discussed her infamous viral quote about a young woman who claimed to be a Christian, and Melanie King's response to her was that she was the great WHORE of Babylon. But before I go into that video, I want to play this video real quick.
He's gonna trick off all his super chat money on me anyway, guys. Super chat so he can trick off.
Which camera am I looking at?
Come on, trick. See, look, give him some trick off money. Give me some trick off money. Give him some trick off money.
Look at me.
Or should I trick off on him? Guys, the more you super chat, the more I'll trick off on him. And in fact, we should film me tricking off on you with the super chat money. Shout out to MTR Salute. I should trick off on you. I think men would get a kick out of it.
No.
Okay, never mind.
That was a quick shutdown, right? But again, that's like a modern woman type of attitude. But she did say she was trolling. All right. That's neither here nor there. She said that. She said that. But I did want to address how, after watching that, could it be hypocritical of her talking to this young lady the way she did? In this exchange, there's a young lady. You know what? You don't want to hear me. I'll let it speak for itself.
Stage, my lyrics, everything that I do, I represent Christ, I represent myself, and I represent beauty, and I represent black women that are bosses.
No,
let
girl,
me land.
Girl,
let me land
no. You can't land no more.
Why
That
can't I
boss
land no
stuff. A man does not want a woman who says she's a boss.
Insecure men don't want a boss.
No man. And I'm telling you, men who've conquered the world do not want this. But are they taking you home and saying that's my wife?
Some have.
There's a difference.
Some have. That's
No. You got a rebuttal to everything, but you're not digesting. You're hearing but not listening. You know why it's important for you to listen?
Listen.
No, not to me.
Okay,
to wisdom. So you talked about being a Christian, but it says the older women need to teach the younger women, and younger women need to listen and be submissive. But you know how many young women are not submissive to what men say? But you say you're a Christian woman. Okay. You can't be a Christian woman and buck against what men are saying. That is anti-biblical, is anti-God, is anti-Christ, and it makes you the great whore of Babylon. That's what the Bible talks about. I was raised in Christian school, Christian college, and I was in the church 4 days a week, all day on Sunday.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, it means something when I'm telling you scripture and you're bucking against it, and it's against the word of God. So don't claim God and Christianity, but your attitude is bucking, and you cannot be quiet for one moment.
What
don't ask me.
Okay, so you saw the video I played before. That wasn't really Christian behavior. Here's Melanie talking to this young lady about the hypocrisy of her Christian behavior. Now, here's the thing about this, right? I think that Melanie is right in what she's saying to her, because you can't, what fellowship has light with darkness? You can't 1 second claim to be a Christian and then everything you say after that has nothing to do with Christ, and in fact isn't Christ honoring. So if you are a Christian, you claim you claim to be a Christian, your goal in life is to just honor Christ, right? That should be the goal. No one's perfect, but it's one thing when you fail and then you understand your failure and you try to fix it. It's another thing when you claim to be a Christian while still trying to do whatever it is that you want that's antithetical to your faith or the faith you claim to have. So in this, she's right, but she was pretty harsh by calling her the great WHORE of Babylon, because I'm not saying anything negatively about Melanie King. However, if she was behaving that way with MTR, then she might have to accept the same kind of advice that she was giving to this young lady right here. Now, she goes into an explanation about what she meant by the great WHORE of Babylon in this exchange with her and MTR when they had their live stream and they were drinking the drinks. A couple of drinks in, she was lit, and she came on pretty hard to the brother. He kept his masculine frame, but she definitely seemed to have turned into that very modern woman that she dislikes. But let's play this video real quick so that you guys get some context of what she was referring to as far as what the great WHORE of Babylon is and how she failed miserably in her explanation. And what I'm going to do is explain to you what she actually meant to say, because she mixed up like 3 different Bible stories. Like, kid you not, she mixed up the actual situation with Jezebel, Nebuchadnezzar, who lived years after Jezebel had died, and then connected that story to Herod, who was alive when Jesus was still, alive, and had John the Baptist's head beheaded. Like, it was all 3 of those mixed in. We're going to get into it. Just listen carefully.
That's an incredible rate. Can I tell you, when I first heard that, the Great Whore of Babylon, I didn't know it was in the Bible. I had to go look it up and shit like that.
You heathen.
I had no idea.
Guys, did
that
you know
bitch is in Revelation?
Now, danger. He said some things that he shouldn't be saying. So please mind the expletives. All right, here we go.
Yeah, she's like the end times whore.
I didn't realize that they had an end times whore in the Bible.
Are we at the?
I ain't gonna lie, it made me want to read the Bible.
Are we? No, the Bible is some G code stuff.
So is the Bible the original?
I agree.
Do you know what they did to Jezebel for being a whore?
They stoned that bitch?
First of all, Jezebel, or her husband was the king.
Wait, Jezebel was a person?
Jezebel was actually a person, and her husband was king. But listen carefully. Now, here's the funny thing about all this. She's frustrated with him for not knowing the Bible, okay? But she really does jack this whole story up, like really bad. So she's mad at him for not knowing the Bible, but she messed this whole Bible story up. Listen, watch carefully.
Jezebel was a real queen of the Bible.
She was.
She was married to, was it Nebuchadnezzar? So anyway, she had a daughter outside.
No, she was not married to Nebuchadnezzar. She was actually married to King Ahab. Okay, let's continue.
She was a baby mother, and it was stepdaddy season for Nebuchadnezzar.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think right now she was thinking of King Herod in the times of Jesus.
he was stepdaddy, and so she used her daughter to
That's Herodias. Herodias' daughter, not Ahab's daughter. Herodias' daughter. Totally different event. Totally different historical event in the Bible.
wanted to bang his stepdaughter, and she knew it.
Wrong.
So he got her to tempt him with like a little sexual, like a strip strip and like do a whole dance in front of him. And then he was so turned on, he said, "Anything you want, I'll give it to you." And her mother told her to ask for the head of John the Baptist.
Now, I know she had probably a couple of drinks at this point, so we can blame it on the alcohol. And I'm praying for Jamie Foxx. So, no, in all seriousness, I'm praying for Jamie Foxx's health. But yeah, she's definitely off here.
Oh shit!
And he had to. Once a king promised something, anything you want, whatever you said, the king had to do, or he would lose all of his. He could not say no once he put the decree out. So Jezebel had him do that. But then Jezebel was such a whore; she ended up being thrown out of a window and then killed. And the dogs.
That part is right.
Her body apart.
That part is right.
Ate her flesh. No, the Bible is like hardcore.
Which I agree.
Be nice
I love the
sweet.
Bible.
I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah, she used at this point she's using the Bible to justify her nasty, or her at times harsh rhetoric toward people, which I'm not using the Bible, or like you shouldn't use the Bible to justify your harsh tone to people, because that's not what the Bible is for. But she's right. Jezebel was thrown from the window and was eaten up by dogs, as it was said it was. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you guys out. She totally failed in this story, and like just really failed. She was trying to get to a place that, she and what's funny is that she was jokingly frustrated with MTR for not knowing the story in the Bible, but it's apparently obvious that she doesn't know it either. So I'm going to clear it up for you guys, so you guys have a better understanding of what she was referring to as far as the great WHORE of Babylon. Okay, so I am going to open up some scriptures for us so that we can get context about what she was saying. So the great WHORE of Babylon is found in Revelations 17. And it says here, "Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and said to me, 'Come, I will show you the judgment of the great prostitute who is seated on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed sexual immorality, and with the wine of whose sexual immorality and the dwellers on earth have become drunk.'" Weren't they drinking on that live stream? Well, either way. "And he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was full of blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and jewels and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the impurities of her sexual immorality. And on the forehead was written a name of mystery, Babylon, the great mother of prostitutes and the earth's abominations. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints, the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. When I saw her, I marveled greatly." So this is what she was referring to when she talked about the great WHORE of Babylon. That is a biblical term, but she was making connections. This had a more spiritual connotation to it, end times connotation to it. But Jezebel was also an actual person in history. In the Bible, which is also a book of history, historical accounts, Jezebel was the wife of King Ahab. And let's get into that scripture as well. In the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, Ahab the son of Omri began to reign over Israel. And Ahab the son of Omri reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. And Ahab the son of Omri did evil in the sight of the Lord more than all who were before him. And what's crazy is every generation after those kings all did something greater, did greater evils than the kings before him. It's kind of crazy. And as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, he took for his wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, and went and served Baal, a false god, and worshipped him. He erected an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he built in Samaria. Now, what made Jezebel so horrible in the Bible is that she led the king to worship false gods, to idols. And he even killed and sacrificed to those idols. And she kept him away from that. So in the Bible, anything that keeps a man or a woman away from worshiping God and lures them away from God is considered the spirit of Jezebel. So that's what the actual spirit of Jezebel is. Just like Jezebel did here, drew the heart of King Ahab away from Jehovah, Yahweh, and started worshiping false gods like Baal. The same thing happens in today, spiritually. Anything that takes you away from God operates sort of like in the spirit of Jezebel, especially if they're operating with an intent of sexual morality. But here's the thing. This happened in First Kings. This happened way before Nebuchadnezzar or King Herod. Now, here's the thing. She was right in saying that she died by falling out of a window, right? But she was through from a window. Now, check the story out. This is crazy. When Jehu came to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, right? Now, look what she does. Then she painted her eyes, put on makeup, adorned her head, and looked out the window because she wanted to see who this guy was, hoping to be, that one to lure him away. And as Jehu entered the gate, she said, "It is peace, you Zimri, murderer of your master." And he lifted up his face to the window and said, "Who is on my side?" Who? 2 or 3 eunuchs looked out at him. He said, "Throw her down." So there was 2 or 3 eunuchs on the side of her, right? And he asked them, "Who is on my side? Who?" And the 3 eunuchs looked out at him, and he said, "Throw her down. Throw Jezebel down." So they threw her down, and some of her blood splattered. Please exclude, his Bible is descriptive. Danger. Splattered on the wall and on the horses, and they trampled on her. So after she fell, the horses trampled on her. And he went in and ate and drank like nothing happened, like it was nothing. And he said, "See now to this cursed woman and bury her, for she is a king's daughter." But when they went to bury her, they found no more of her than the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. When they came back and told him, he said, "This is the word of the Lord, which he spoke by his servant Elijah, the Tishbite." Now, Jezebel was also an enemy of Elijah who wanted him dead because he killed the prophets of Baal. "In the territory of Jezreel, the dogs shall eat of the flesh of Jezebel, and the corpse of Jezebel shall be as dung on the face of the field in the territory of Jezreel, so that no one can say, 'This is Jezebel.'" So she was unrecognizable. The dogs ate her up. So she was absolutely right in that. But then in between, from the time she was the king of the wife of King Ahab, not King Nebuchadnezzar, because King Nebuchadnezzar came after Second Kings, and he was pretty much infamous in the story of Jeremiah, which happened after Jezebel died. She compared or conflated the story of King Herod. Now, King Herod was alive at the time of Jesus. And this story here is infamous because her description of the story was right, but it was wrong because it wasn't Jezebel. Jezebel had nothing to do with what was happening here. Okay, I'll read the story to you and it'll make sense. At the time, now John the Baptist was the cousin of Jesus, who came and told everybody that Jesus was coming, or he was preparing the way. At the time Herod the Tetrarch heard about the fame of Jesus, he said to his servant, "This is John the Baptist. He has been raised from the dead. That is why these miraculous powers are working in him." For Herod had seized John and bound him and put him in prison for the sake of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, because John had been saying to him, "It is not lawful for you to have her." Okay? For you to have her. He's having her. And John was saying it wasn't lawful. And though he wanted to put him to death, he feared the people because they held him to be a prophet. But when Herod's birthday came, the daughter of Herodias danced before the company and pleased Herod. So, yes, Herodias' daughter was dancing before Herod, but it wasn't the daughter of Jezebel. So that he promised with an oath to give her whatever she might ask. Prompted by her mother, she said, "Give me the head of John the Baptist on a platter." And the king was sorry, but because of his oaths and his guests, he commanded it to be given. He sent and had John beheaded in the prison, and his head was brought on a platter and given to the girl, and she brought it to her mother, and his disciples came and took the body and buried it, and they went and told Jesus. She took 3 different stories in 3 different time periods in history, blended them together to explain her explanation of the great WHORE of Babylon, Jezebel. And she wasn't right in her explanation. She wasn't. Now, it could have been the alcohol. It could have been that, but she wasn't right. She wasn't correct in explanation. And hopefully this gives you guys some context of what she was trying to say, but this is actually what it was. So she was not right in her explanation of Jezebel. She mixed a couple of stories together, and that's it. So guys, yeah, that's the truth of the matter. That's the biblical truth. All right, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed the explanation. Listen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. All right. I'm out. Peace.